we got the stream going, but let me make sure to send out a couple of links to people who requested them so I can get them going. Let's see here. Let me just copy this real quick. Let me just let me just get this all going and if you are just joining me for the first time now, I'm just sending out a couple of links to my group chat so everyone can watch me stream this beautiful stuff. If you are new to the channel, welcome. My name is Zenray, and I'm very glad to have you all here. If at any time you want to say something or let me know anything at all, please let me know down below. I appreciate the interactions and all the wonderful stuff. So, today, we are going to be painting a series of Necrons. I'll go into the lore about Necrons in a bit, but today we'll be painting as follows. These... shoot, what are they called? I'm just going to refer to what I call them in the video. I'm going to call them the Blady Boys. Additionally, we'll be painting a set of Immortals. Now, as you see this one here, I've already done a practice paint on them. And as you'll find out, we're not going to be painting all these guys today. We're just going to be doing a basic black base for the parts of the arm that my commissioner wanted me to do. Now, in order to get started, first of all, some of you may be asking yourselves, Zen, these look like they're coming along great. How would I be able to get some models like these? Well, thank you for asking. If you have my Discord, or if you want a commission done by me but don't have my Discord, or don't have a way to contact me, then you can easily look out and get information from me, like here on the chat. I'll let you all know what I can do for you for commissions. Hey Moss, how you doing? We're painting a series of Warhammer models. I don't know if you play Warhammer, but I'm glad you're here to stick by and watch. Oh wow, 3 people watching right now? That's a new record. All seriously, like, everybody who comes to these streams, I love you. Everybody who's here watching right now, you're the best. If you're going to watch the stream later tonight when it's all done, thank you. I appreciate you highly. Gotta grab one more thing I almost forgot. It's a little blurry. Well, you know, we all gotta learn some games, right? Take our time, learn about them, and improve upon them. The stream looks a little grainy. I am sorry. I don't know if that's just the reception coming in, or if it's just me broadcasting this live right now. Maybe I can fix that in a future date. I don't know yet. Anyway, we're going to start on these models, and I think we're going to put these guys off to the side for now. And we're going to paint just these 4 guys over here to start. Let's get started. Let's see. I'm gonna get a quick little dab of paint here, scrape some off, and we're gonna get started now. So while I begin painting these guys, I like to talk about a couple of things that I enjoy about this hobby. Now, Warhammer, and more specifically Warhammer 40k, for those of you who do not know what that is a tabletop game where you build an army, you assemble these models, and essentially you fight in them. But what separates this is that it takes place in a futuristic sci-fi world where you can be anything you can imagine. You can be these undying, immortal skeleton warriors. You can be these superhuman soldiers that are nigh invincible. You can play an army of people who are religious fanatics who believe that technology is the pinnacle of all creation. Anything you can imagine is probably here in Warhammer, and it is crazy. It's a little dark, very grimdark as it's called, but it is just fantastic what they can do with the lore sometimes. So, a lot of people ask me, hey Zen, how did you get into 40k? How did you get your start in it, and why do you like it? Well, I'll tell you. Back in 2016, when I was about 15 years old, I remember going to a store. Now, the store is called Sci-Fi City in Knoxville, Tennessee. The store in particular is, well, it used to be a part of a mall that later got defunct and shut down. So the person who was on the business moved it and reopened the store with new management and new opportunities. When these people went in there, or when they went in there and they opened up the shop, I was there opening day because I loved going there in the past, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to enjoy this. I'm going to have some fun with it, and we're going to see what's down there. I immediately get in there, and it is a huge building, like for good reference, like it's about the size of a Costco or an Aldi's. It just looked amazing. Take a quick break here. I've been painting models like this for maybe, oh geez, I've been trying to paint models for about 2 or 3 years, but I finally started taking them seriously about 3 or 4 months ago. It's taken me a lot of time and diligence to learn how to paint these. So at this new shop that I love going to now, and I go there just about every week, they have this huge section of Warhammer models. And I thought, these look incredible. These look insane. I want to be a part of this. How do I get a part of it? And, well, to my realization, if I were to get into Warhammer, I might have to drop a hobby that I enjoy. And what I discovered was, well, Warhammer is a little pricey. Certain sets of models can range from $30 to $50 just for a pack of models, and there are armies that are worth like thousands of dollars just by buying the parts. And that's just the models, not including the painting of the models. So you could be paying like hundreds of dollars for a single army. And you're probably thinking, if you've never played this game before, who in their right mind would pay thousands of dollars for plastic? Well, it's the community. There's a lot of people in this community that love what they do, and they love what they play with a passion. So they were a little willing to fork out some money for amazing models, amazing products. So eventually in, I think, 2018, I know, fast forwarding quite a bit, I finally decided, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to get into 40k and start playing. So I started asking around with some people I knew who play Warhammer. I was like, hey, how do I get into this game? What do I need to know? What do I need to do? And luckily, one of my friends had a extra army just lying around. And I ended up getting a army called Tau. Now, if you play 40k, Tau aren't normally the best, but I think they are the best introduction army to the game. It's more about shooting rather than melee or anything special about that. And it's really fun, and they're actually doing pretty well right now in the game as in general. I was playing 8th edition Town. The only thing I had going for me was I could Overwatch for free, and that was about it. And if I decided to take a Riptide, I, well, could have taken many Riptides. I had like 2 of them. And that is kind of how I got started in 40k. It was a lot of trial and error. A lot of me just having cold feet to get into the hobby. When I finally did, I enjoyed it. I made a lot of new friends, and here I am now painting models for a side hustle. Let's see here. What paint is best for plastic? I'm planning on making a cosplay soon. That is really cool. If you don't mind me asking, what type of cosplay are you doing? And as for what type of paints I'd recommend, I would say maybe look into trying out a acrylic paint. I'll use touch-ups for this later, but this So Flat right here is a really good acrylic that just binds to the plastic. I use it mainly for touch-ups, but it's a really good acrylic that I recommend for like plastic painting. Really, any base acrylic will do the trick, but that would be a company I would personally recommend. Alright, where was I going with this? Where's my reference at? So this is what we got so far on the guys. I like how eerily similar they are. So next we're going to move on to painting his arms and legs, and then we move on to the gun. And we'll move on to the next guy after that. We get a little drip in here. Let me just clean this brush off a little, get the residue off. Remember, clean brush, happy artist. If you don't have a clean brush, you're not going to have a brush for long. Trust me. I've probably gone through like maybe 2 or 3 packs of brushes before I realized that. Trial and error. Alright. Ooh. Sally face. I like that. Actually, let me put this down for a minute, and I might have something I want to show you. So this is a mask I've had for a good while, and when I started using like around my friends, like as like little jokes for Halloween and whatnot, they're like, "Dude, that looks like Sally face." I'm like, "What? What's Sally face?" Like, I have no idea what that is, to be honest. I just got a notification. I wonder who that could be from. I'm not going to find out because I'm having the best time of my life with you guys. Which, if you were just joining, welcome. Hope you're having a wonderful, fantastic day. Let's get back to painting. Just blotch some of this on here, covering up his shoulder and his forearm. Now, the person in particular I'm doing this commission for, he really enjoys this color scheme. He was like, I don't want just the standard silver guys, because if you look online, like most Necrons are silver, and occasionally you'll get like a green. He said, I want my guys to be both black and white. And he said, I just want to get these guys looking good. I want these guys to look like they're a contrast, like black and white, night and day. He said he wanted like polar opposites for what they could be. I was like, okay, I can do that. So that is what I'm doing. So in case some people who are joining are wondering why they're not silver and green boys, then that's why. Let me just scrape around here. Another story I often get asked about is what do I what's my favorite army? What army do I play and why do I play them? Well, I play a group called the Adeptus Mechanicus, more commonly referred to as AdMech. Now, AdMech is a very interesting story because, as some of you may realize, that I'm a huge fan of steampunk. And, it's my logo for my videos and it's my concept overall. But that's not the only reason why I fell in love with AdMech. I don't really talk about this a whole lot, but I have this weird fascination with cults. Like, watching documentaries about them, learning about what they did, and all the history. So, AdMech are literally a cult of people in the far future who worship technology. Now, for context, technology in 40K is very, very rare. You're not going to find just iPhones and pieces of technology lying about. No. A lot of technology has been lost to the ages. And so it's considered highly valuable and sacred. And it's the job of the AdMech to explore the galaxy and recover lost technology. And you're thinking to yourself, well, why doesn't the AdMech people, why don't they just go out there and make new technology? Hey, see you later, Moss. Have a good chat. Have a good day as well. So the reason why I can't do that is because due to a series of laws and religious overtones, the Imperium of Man has actually outlawed inventing. They see any idea that is not the status quo as heresy. So essentially, the only way they can get new quote unquote technology is by finding it. They have to go out and find new stuff to, well, they have to go find the old stuff to make new stuff, if that makes any sense. And people who find old technology are often rewarded heavily and greatly by the Emperor and his Imperium. There's one story where a simple guardsman, a soldier, found a he found a simple plan, a schematic on how to build a better combat knife. Just a normal foot-long combat knife, a blade that we would take normally for granted, like a Bowie knife. For his discovery, the Imperium of Mankind gave him a planet to rule over and his descendants to rule over for all eternity, just because this guy found a better way to make a knife that the human race had forgot about. And so that's why technology is so sacred, because we don't have a whole lot of it. What we do find is very few and far between, and what we can find is very sacred. So that whole cult fanaticism mixed with the idea of technological superiority, that's what drove me to play AdMech. Now, recently, in the newest edition of Warhammer, AdMech has sort of become the meta, or the main army to play competitively. And I'll be honest with you, I got into AdMech, I want to say maybe shortly after I stopped playing with my original army, which was Tau. So maybe mid to late 2019. And I got into them and I started playing them with their older rulebook. And eventually I started digging around and figured out, hey, I like these guys. I love to play them. And now I have a huge battalion of AdMech that I play with almost every weekend whenever I can get a game in. So we're gonna just let this guy's leg get taken care of. We'll move on to the next one. If you're just joining us for the first time, welcome. My name's Zenray, and I'm glad you all are here. If you don't know what I'm doing, I'm just painting some Warhammer models and having some fun with them. If anybody has any questions, or they want to know more about me, or possibly get a commission, I'll be more than happy to talk with you guys and get something done. Let's see, this guy's doing all right. I guess while we're on the subject of painting Necrons, I guess I could talk about the lore for a little bit. So, Necrons are a very old but also very sad species. Like, they are very, like, honestly, you ever like felt you just had like a bad day? Well, imagine that bad day turned into millions of years of torment and just pure agony. So, how the lore of the Necrons goes is 40 million years ago. I know that sounds like insane. Like how can there be lore millions of years ago, like shortly after the death of the dinosaurs? Well, here's how it goes. 40 million years ago, in a far-flung corner of the galaxy, a planet was living too close to a dying star. And because of this star, doorbell rang for some reason. I don't know why. I wonder if that's something for me. No, it's not for me. I'm fine. So, these Necrons, on average, only had a lifespan of 20 years. Because of that, their whole culture and their whole life was built around the eventual demise of their lives. Most Necrons didn't live to see the age of 25. It is very sad, very sad. Then one day, their leader finds out about these guys called the Catan. These guys are literal gods. Like, they are the creators of, I wouldn't say the universe, but more or less, they're the creators of everything within the universe. These guys show up and they think to themselves, hey, these guys they're all powerful. They're really cool dudes. I bet if we ask them very nicely, they'll give us immortality, or at the very least, they'll help us escape our curse of dying so young. And the Catan were like, no, we're not going to help you. So that went well. And the Necrons were sent back to their homeworld, depressed as all can be. Then they find a demon. Just a big old demon floating out in the middle of space, minding its own business. And once again, they see this all-powerful being. They're like, hey, could you help us? We're desperate. We need help. And this thing is like, sure. I'd be more than happy to help you with your predicament, and I'm more than happy to make sure things go well for you guys. So, this all-powerful demon creates these giant forges on their homeworld. He tells the Necron, go in there, and when you come out, you will have immortality. And people started going in, but what came out was not what they were hoping for. The Necron, which was just once humanoid people living their lives in the galaxy, turned in to these guys. They became literal gods of destruction and became the puppet, the plaything for this demon. He would have them rage wars all across the galaxy, fighting off those Catan and the species that the Catan had created. Species such as elves and orcs and other amazing creatures that you could not believe. That might be a better discussion for a different video. So these poor Necrons were now enslaved, mindlessly dying on the battlefield in the millions. But every time they went down, they get back right back. They would get right back up. They would come right back to life, and they would continue on fighting. Once in a while, the demon would free the mind of a person. And this person would become the leader of a dynasty or a group of Necron soldiers. And one of them in particular, called the Silent King, decided, you know what, we've had enough of this. Like, we are going to finish what we wanted, and we're going to finish what you started. And so he was able to muster enough people to fight back against the demon. And not only that, but he finished his conquest of exterminating these old ones, these Catan. And he single-handedly destroyed them. And as a prize, the Silent King took one of these Catan gods and put him on top of his great throne, imprisoning this god to literally be a battery for the Silent King. And realizing that the Silent King had helped make the pact and the deal that steal the fate of his people, in shame, he ordered all of his Necron soldiers to go into hibernation until a time of the Great Awakening, when they will all wake up and take over the universe. Now, that was some millions of years ago. And thankfully, for most of our sakes, the Necrons haven't woken up at all. There are times where the Emperor, the Empire of Mankind, or the Imperium, will stumble upon these Necron worlds called Tomb Worlds. And they will awaken the soldiers within, and they'll start fighting. Most of the time when that happens, though, the Necrons will go back to obeying their orders, and they'll go right back to sleep after massacring everybody that was in their facility. It is a sad but also very interesting history about the origins of these Necrons, because not only did they literally become god killers, they were the victims of those who sought to kill the gods themselves. And in a weird roundabout way, they became the killer of the gods and the demons. Let's see if I can get this carefully in here. Don't think anybody else has joined that I'm aware of. If anybody left and came back, that's awesome if anybody is watching, but As let me know they either left or joined, then that's fine too. Just remember, guys, if you are new to this channel, make sure to please leave a like, comment down below anything you want to say, and subscribe to the channel. It would really mean a lot to me, believe me. If you do want to join the conversation, feel free to go right ahead. If you have my Discord and you want to message me about something, please let me know. If you have a question about, well, anything Warhammer related, anything art related, I would be more than happy to answer any questions you might have. So please let me know. Let's see here. I'm going to try to finish this guy up and then do a couple of white touch-ups, and then we'll go from there. Let's see here. Ooh. So, when you play games in Warhammer, there's one thing I can always say about it. Unlike D&D, where it may come from a module or a book that people can read, or when it comes from another game where there's a set rules and a set like outcome, the one thing you can guarantee about 40k is you cannot guarantee anything. It is an unpredictable game because unless you know like full ahead of time what you're going to go up against or who you're playing, chances are you're not going to know like who's playing what or if anybody's going to do what. That being said, there are plenty of opportunities where people can play games where they have no idea what's going on until they actually start playing. And that's why I love the unpredictability of 40k, which leads me into what I would argue was the greatest battle of 40k I've ever went up against. Now, don't worry, you don't have to know anything about Warhammer and the rules about it to understand what I'm about to say. But let me just preface this. So, my AdMech were going up against orcs. These little green guys that are just very powerful and they are very, very tactical. I have a friend who this time I'm just going to call him Philip, just for the sake of anonymity and not reveal his real name. So Phil and I are really good friends. We've been playing 40k probably as long as I'm playing AdMech. He did a lot of painting for my models as well when I was still inexperienced with painting, and he did a really good job with them. So, when he starts to play, he plays orcs and some other armies. And I gotta hand him, he is a really good player, like probably one of the best ones I've ever known. And he's running this army of orcs with what is simply known as a mech. And this mech is basically one giant orc with a super powerful attack that, if I'm not careful, I could probably lose real easily to this guy. This was the most unexpected thing I've ever come across in this game. And I was saying to myself, oh geez, how am I going to win? How am I going to... can I even try to win? Like, how am I going to do this? Because it's the first time we're going to go up against a Titan. And so I decide, okay, here's what we're going to do. All around him and his Titan were other combatants, like trucks and other vehicles that the orcs were loaded up in. I decided if I could take out the trucks first, fully the orcs, and then turn around and focus my attention on the big guy, maybe then I would have a chance to get, well, a chance to win. So I start going up against this guy, and we're playing, we're having the time of our lives, we're tossing, like, friendly banter back and forth in character with our armies, and he's wiping out parts of my army, I'm wiping out parts of his, and eventually, Eventually, I managed to land a killing blow on his Titan, this giant orc mech. And I am just excited. I'm happy. I am just so amazed at what I just did. And then Philip speaks to me. He's like, "Well, hold on. It's not over yet." And I was like, "Wait, what? Why is it not over yet?" And he said, "Because I have to do something." And he gets on measuring tape and measures out almost 8 inches around where the mech was when it died. And he said, "Everything in that area, I'm going to roll a d6, and it's going to take that much damage on a model." Now, a d6 is a normal six-sided die. And what's really incredible of that thing is that most models in 40K only have like maybe 1 to 2 hit points. So if this guy rolls a 3, this guy's dead. If he rolls 4, dead. Rolls a 6, all 3 of these guys are dead. And so here I am just like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, that is amazing. Needless to say, he just wipes me out and takes a good chunk of my army with him. And in the end, to my surprise, I still won, but only like maybe 2 or 3 points difference. That's why I love 40K so much, because each game you're going to play, there will never be a game that you play in the future that will be like the one you're playing right now. You know, I could be playing a game against somebody playing the exact same army back to back. Maybe 2 or 3 guys that go up against are playing the same army. Chances are the game I play with them will not be the same as the one I just did with the last guy. So that is why I love 40K. The lore is rich and incredible. The armies in them are so unique and so diverse that anybody who plays it has the opportunity to get into it. But most importantly, it is just so unpredictable. Like, you will never know what's going on in a game until you play it. Um, Sorry about that. I just got a message online, and I just want to see who it was. But that's what I love about 40K. It is a unpredictable, chaotic mess, and I'm all here for it. So let me see here. We're just about done with this guy. I want to make sure if I have any more black spots I need to touch up. Um, Here's a good spot to touch up on. Guess we could try to rim this area. Oh, I love it. I love how this is coming along. There we go. That was the part I was missing. So, I think I'm going to do some white touch-ups on here. We're going to wrap stream a little early because I hope people are enjoying this. I hope people are tuning in and watching it. But I don't know. If you are enjoying it, I hope you do. But I just don't have much else to talk about, and I thought I had more to say and more to do. Let me just finish the touch-ups here. Not bad at all. Let's put this brush out to dry. Give it a little twist. Alright, let's put that guy over here. Let's grab a new brush, like this one right here. We're going to get some of that Soul Golden Flat, and we are going to just use the cap here, because whenever I twist it around, there's always a nice little blotch of it right here for me to use. We're going to get our brush a little wet, twist it around, and we're going to start painting him. We're going to do a few touch-ups here and there. I'm actually going to mainly focus on this area of here because I'm going to later on paint over these areas, which will be in lighter colors, so I don't want to have a bunch of crazy colors going over it, because if I'm trying to make something bright and there's black on it, then that ain't going to show, you know? Alright. Also, how would you guys feel if I like played some music when we were painting? I feel like that'd be kind of fun. Yeah, that would be kind of fun, wouldn't it? If you guys have any song suggestions, let me know, and I will definitely see if I can provide that song or that information. It's got to obviously be copyright free, but there's plenty of songs to choose from. Or maybe we can listen to some lo-fi hip-hop. Let me just fix that later when it dries. I am thinking about like this area here though, like where the spinal cord reaches into the cord. And it's got that. It's a spinal cord with a cord on it. Funny. I'm trying to figure out if I want to like maybe make this the green color that I was going to go with for my model, or if I wanted to add more detail to it, or maybe make it a different color, like maybe a silver. I'm going to reach out to my client and see what he thinks, and we'll go from there. Gonna touch you up right there. Just gonna keep looking around, making sure there's any more detail or any more stuff going on. Um, there's only like 2 or 3 people watching right now, but for those who are sticking around watching the stream, either watching me or using me as background noise, thank you for watching, because I really enjoyed having you guys stick around and enjoy. Let's see here. I'm just gonna quickly wipe around the kneecap. I love painting models like this because of the complexity and sometimes the ideas where you have to like move it around and figure out what you want to do. But I really do appreciate it when people will bring me just the sprue. Like if you don't build the model, let me paint on it and then paint over it and then assemble it for you. It may cost you a little extra, but I'd be more than happy to do that for the commissions. Regardless, let me just grab that. A little more white would be fine. Roll the brush so we get a bit of a point. And we're going to quickly slap our models together. There we go. I'm gonna add a little black right there later on when I get the chance. All right. All right, there we go. All right, let's just slap some more paint on here. And if you don't play 40K or you don't play D&D, but you know somebody who does, you think, hey, maybe I want to reach out to them and let them check out some painting tutorials, or maybe even get somebody to do artwork for them. I would love to be that guy. So please let me know if you ever want me to do some work for you or for a friend. All right, we are just about done. A little more detail here. I think for the most part, this guy is done. All right, let me just wipe this brush off. There we go. All clean, all shiny. Gonna cap these paints so they don't dry, because that would be a terrible excuse of a tax write-off. And that model is finito. That took me about, a few good minutes to get that done. But we had a good time talking, we had a good time painting, and I think it came out quite nicely. What do you think? I'm going to work on some details here and there and touch them up, but for the most part, I think this turned out great. So we're going to put this guy off to the side. We're going to work on his brethren in a little bit. But for everybody else, thank you so much for joining this video. If you did enjoy it, if you're watching this either as a VOD or live right now, please make sure before you leave to leave a like down below. Comment anything you want to add. Any engagement with the algorithm is good engagement for me. If you have any praise for my artwork or critiques, I would love to hear them. Everything helps because I'm still learning how to paint. I'm still learning how to be a good artist. So any help at all is eternally grateful. So let me see if I get this camera at the right angle. Alright. Let me wait for the camera to come back on my screen here. By the time you see this, I'm probably just standing around looking like an idiot, so... Alright, here we go. Camera's adjusting. This should be good, right here. Alright. Seriously, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, like I said, like, comment, share below. If you have any commissions you want to get done, let me know. I'm all ears. And for everybody else, thank you. Have a wonderful and safe day. Peace out, and happy painting. All right, where do I take this off?